ready for another lesson?
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Back Row Banter. It's your favorite casual movie talk podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Adam Schwartz. And on this week's episode, we'll be talking about the movie Undertone.
What is this cadence you're bringing
I
in here?
I couldn't determine if it was because his mic was cutting out.
Yeah,
every
no,
once in a while,
it was
then I started
genuinely.
watching the box, and I was like, "Oh, he's doing this on purpose." Okay, well,
Yeah.
we'll just. It reminds me of that episode of SpongeBob. Not to bring it back to SpongeBob like we always do, but when he's like, "I need."
Yeah, can't understand your accent.
That show is so good. Yeah, you know, I just switch up the cadence every once in a while, keep people on the toes. I did mid intro there. I was like, man, if this is someone's first episode,
It's gonna be
probably
odd.
gonna turn it off. It's not. Maybe I should wrap this up. But anyway, before we get to our review of Undertone, I am of course joined by none other than now recording Nathaniel Gingrich.
Now recording. What up?
I miss Jirac, man. Sometimes I think about
Do
him.
miss Craig. Do miss Jirac.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's an old bit. You know, long time listeners of the app
It's
might
been
remember.
Probably 4 years since we had Craig.
Yeah, it's been a while. That was
Craig and Jirac in this joint.
That was my sophomore year of college that we were doing that for the most part, for maybe about a year until you got the mixer. So,
Which, speaking of, and this might be a little off-pod conversation, do you want the original mixer still?
maybe actually, yeah, potentially. Now that I have money to buy it from you, I think when you first got the new mixer, it was like I would love to buy it, but I can't.
Yeah, I
Can't
mean,
right now.
it'll
But
be
I wouldn't mind having one to
I'll
use for my own
be
use.
very reasonable with the pricing on this. So,
Okay, noted. Is it employee discount pricing? Is that what you're going to give it to me for?
I don't know, but we'll figure it out.
Okay. Yeah, let's talk about that.
I'll buy it for more than what he's gonna buy it for.
Oh, Jesus.
And this is, I think, what happened last time, but I'm glad we're bringing this back up again.
Full stage capitalism. I don't even fucking want it, but I just don't want it to happen. I'll buy him out of it right now. That's funny.
Man, you're such a good friend, Ty. Thanks.
I try.
Yeah,
You can buy it off me once I have it.
Okay. I'm scrolling through Facebook Marketplace one day, and Ty's selling it for $1. He's just like, I don't just get rid of this. Like,
That's funny as fuck.
that of course is it's noise canceling Tyler Vidalis.
Hello,
Hello.
I'm noise canceling. I lost my pair of noise canceling headphones.
I was
really
going
upset
to
about
ask,
it.
what are you guys repping for headphones these days? As former Best Buy
Currently-
employees, I know we are all probably have a decent pair of headphones, having gotten.
I actually
some-
only have my Samsung earbuds currently.
Yeah, just the buds.
I had the Sony, what are those, X3s or XM3s at some point.
XM4s or XM3. Yeah,
When I was working at Best Buy, because shout out Brett, he was like, hey, I got to take these off display. And he was like, you can't plug like an actual cord into them because we had to glue them in there, and that's how they stay connected for security purposes. So I had to cut that off, but they're still wireless and they still charge. And so he's
wait,
like,
so you took the display set?
Yeah, because he's the one that switches those out. Those are owned by Sony.
Right.
So anytime he switched out displays, he was always like, hey, Tyler, would you like to take these home and try them out? And if you happen to lose them, I don't need to know about it. And I was like, fuck yeah, Brett. Fuck yeah. So I've gotten
Don't know.
like two.
I don't know if
Bluetooth
I can
speakers,
handle.
two
We're
Bluetooth
gonna
headphones.
bleep this conversation for the.
Yeah, I was gonna say. First of all, I hope
There
Brett's no
anymore.
longer employed by Sony.
No, he is.
Statute of
well,
limitations
maybe we
is
should. Maybe we should.
well and truly done.
Yeah,
yeah.
we're fine. I don't care.
But I also I don't know if I could take the trade off of free headphones, knowing that potentially thousands of people have tried them on. I don't think I could ever
a good
feel
point.
comfortable wearing them. That I
You
don't.
can replace
no matter
the
how
cups,
much I
though.
clean them.
I was gonna say you
yeah,
can replace
still.
the cups, which I did, and
Okay, good.
also alcohol kills everything. So
Yeah.
Talent.
I have the next gen of those headphones, but I did not get the display model.
I do as well. I have the 4s
but
currently.
I've
had them for a while.
I was gonna say I'm
They're
so
running-
out of the
they're
loop
running
on
down.
those ones. I basically use them on airplanes nowadays. Otherwise, I'm rocking AirPod Pros because those also have noise canceling, and that's just easier for the most part.
Sure.
Yeah, no, I'm with the group on this one. I got the XM4s. It's almost like we all worked at Best Buy. So yeah, that's kind of what I've been rocking.
Those
for
are
the
also
past, I don't
just
know, like 7 years. Honestly,
some
one of
great
my
headphones.
favorite
Fantastic.
headsets.
Oh my god, they're fantastic. One of my best purchases of all time.
Yeah,
for sure, legitimately.
Yeah, well worth the investment.
I think
Kind of similar to Nathaniel. I mean, I use them predominantly on airplanes. Like every time I'm on an airplane, bring them.
Yeah.
But I do use them around the house occasionally. Like if I work from home
I think that was
or if I take the dog for a walk, I may just put them on. You know what I mean? But more often than not, I am in AirPod Pros though.
I think the Sony XM4s might be the last useful invention that humanity made.
Okay. That's hilarious.
That was it.
That's hilarious.
We peaked
The
there.
last useful invention from Sony. Is that
No,
what you
no,
said, or
just
you said
humanity.
ever.
Just humanity in general. Like since then, it's been things that actively are
Let's
worse
see.
for us. Like it's just garbage shit that is harmful at this point.
Let's see what year they came out.
The line was crossed at the XM5s. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, iterations of
2020.
Iterations of I'm not going to argue with, but you know that was the Sony noise canceling headphones was the end for us.
Yeah, as someone who has kept up with them a little bit, is like the XM5s. I was not recommending to people I still worked at Best Buy, but now the XM6s are out, and those apparently are worth recommending, and have kind of blended the best parts of the 4 and the 5 into a better version with the 6. So I need to replace mine eventually in the near future, hopefully. But
dude, I'm trying to take these bitches to 10 plus years.
Yeah.
Well, I work out in
To the
mine because I don't
grave.
like wearing AirPods. Working out.
I don't do that.
Yeah,
I
I
use
can't.
AirPods in the gym.
Yeah.
I actually use first gen AirPods in the gym.
Hell yeah.
AirPod Pros for like casual every day.
Sure.
And then XM4 is like if I'm like gonna walk the dog or if I'm on a plane.
Yeah.
And they double as earmuffs too. The XM4s, man. I got a bald head, so the earmuffs are clutch.
In the wintertime,
XM4s.
in the wintertime,
man.
I'm not mad about wearing the XM4s outside because they do work as earmuffs. In college, in class, on my way to class, I would pull that move. Put
For
on
sure.
my headphones. Yeah.
Underrated feature.
Absolutely.
That cannot be good for the headphones. Like,
Working out in them?
no, the sub-zero temps. Minnesota temps.
It's like you said, Nathaniel. Technology peaked with them. They can
That's
handle
true,
they can
that's
handle
true.
whatever you throw at them. You know, I'm sure they'd work in
Before that, it was the. Never mind.
Anyway, rounding out the squadron over there, it's big baby BlakeHolder.
What's going on, guys? I was always curious what we're going to do this week.
Yeah, not an insult by any means. Just babies are present in this movie, for better or for worse.
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah. How's everybody doing, man?
Not too bad.
Good.
Yeah.
This March weather's just nuts,
dude. Up and down.
It's the
like
worst.
Crazy, dude. Right?
It snowed yesterday morning, and then it hit 55 degrees today.
I think this is just what we're in for from now on. I think this is just going to be Midwest
in March
weather.
Especially for sure. Yeah.
But yeah, it snowed. What was that? Was that over the weekend? Like it snowed, or was that like? Dude, that was Monday.
It snowed yesterday morning. Not joking. It snowed less than 48 hours ago.
Okay, but that was like the flurries, right?
Yeah, there were some flurries. The actual snow that stuck was like
that was Sunday night, I guess. Monday morning.
Yeah, I woke up Monday morning, and there was an inch of snow on my windowsill, and I damn near cried.
And to your point, to like okay weather yesterday, kind of cold in the morning. Yeah, got warmer during the day. Today's nice. Tomorrow's like really nice. Saturday's like
high 70. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Gotta love it, man.
In the meantime, I think the Southwest is like 95 right now. They're under like a heat
Yeah,
dome.
dude. Yeah. Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, we have friends in Arizona and they were like 105, and I'm like, fuck that. Dude.
Brother. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not supposed to happen.
Oh, it's okay. There's a lot of water out there.
Global warming's real. Yeah, sure it is, dude. No.
Yeah. It's like it just snowed yesterday morning.
Guys, I don't know what I did to Tyler, but he's got my number today, man. He's just coming after me. I'm gonna have to play on the defensive the rest of the episode. Jesus.
No one can convince me it's a real man. It snowed yesterday.
Okay, all right, people. we got to move past this conversation real quick.
70 in March.
Hollow Earth theory. Let's talk about it here on Back Row Banter.
Yeah, let's unpack. Anyway, let's
that would be
out of that topic into our main review.
Sorry, wild transition for the podcast to make. We just become a conspiracy podcast, and like we're different ones of us are skeptics based on different topics as well too.
I love that. That could be a nice little like niche side show that we do.
Dude, I'm so far fucking removed from that conspiracy theory. When you guys are talking about Hollow Earth, I'm going to the fucking MonsterVerse Godzilla.
Earth, 100%.
And I'm like, is that what they're talking about? I was like, there's no way.
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's much different.
Pretty close. Kind
of
there may be a bunch of 30-foot apes.
Yeah.
Well, I guess Kong's larger than that, right? Isn't he he's like almost like 100 and something feet?
Yeah.
100 feet apes?
Could be. I don't personally believe that. I would be the skeptic on that one.
Okay.
That's where we would draw the line on Hollow Earth. Like
Nathaniel
it exists, but
Nathaniel's
not the gigantic apes.
Nathaniel's the podcast host in that universe.
Oh god,
what's that character's name?
Oh yeah,
the guy has like a monster podcast.
Michael Tyree.
Oh, just
Brian Tyree Henry.
Yeah. Exactly. That's Nathaniel.
I wish I was Brian Tyree Henry.
Let's move into our review segment. Nathaniel, if the listener here is new or maybe they've just forgotten, can you give them a rundown of how our review segment works?
Hello, folks. If you're new or perhaps you've just forgotten, the way the review segment works here on Back Row Banter is it is split into two sections. There is the non-spoiler section, and then there's the spoiler section. It's pretty self-explanatory and self-explanatory. In the non-spoiler section, we'll discuss the movie itself, who wrote it, who directed it, who's in it, all of that good stuff. We'll go over the IMDb page and decide if the synopsis is good or not. Then we're going to see if we would recommend the movie. Got to be a yes or no. There is no nuance on the internet. And then it's going to be spoiler time. If you don't want to have anything spoiled for you, go ahead and skip that. You can tell from the show notes. We'll have all of the relevant timestamps in there for you. But then we'll be ranking it up on our Entropy list, which is our big list of everything we've watched on the podcast ranked. With that being said, Adam, tell me about Undertone.
I would love to. This is a new movie. It says IMDb is saying 2025, and I hate when it does that because the wide release was 2026. So, whatever. 2020 new movie. It's recent. It's rated R with a runtime of 1 hour and 34 minutes and an IMDb rating of 6.3 out of 10. It is written and directed by Mr. Ian. I think it's Tucson. I think it's just Tucson. His directorial debut, pretty much. I'm looking at his IMDb, and he has a bunch of shorts, but this is like his full length feature. So props to him for that. Cast includes Nina Kiri, Adam DeMarco, and Michelle Duquette. That's pretty much it. There's a couple other credits here for the voice actors of the recordings and stuff, but those are the main people that we're interacting with here. The IMDb summary reads as follows: the host of a popular paranormal podcast becomes haunted by terrifying recordings mysteriously sent her way. I mean, this has got to be, I've got to give bonus points for the alliteration of popular paranormal podcast. I'm a sucker for alliteration. Podcast. So this gets bonus points. S tier IMDb summary. But it is actually good on its own. I mean, that's kind of the synopsis. We have a horror woman hosting a horror show. It's Sandpiper Tapes esque. If you know, you know. And
Plug.
yeah. And then the show kind of comes a little too real. You know what I mean? Gentlemen, I made a plea. Made a plea to you guys to see this in Dolby. Did anyone end up catching it in Dolby? I know the screenings were limited.
No,
I didn't. No, and I hate
you did,
that I'm
Nathaniel?
not.
Awesome. All right. Cool. I just need to know because
Did you catch it in Dolby?
I did.
First watch. Okay.
I did. Yes. I limited screenings, as I mentioned.
Yeah.
For its opening weekend, which is really unfortunate. I don't know what took the screenings away from this movie because I don't think anything else big came out that weekend other than maybe might have been like one of the kids movies probably. So they did like a early release Dolby screening the Monday before the Friday it was supposed to come out. So I checked that out just to make sure that I could get it in Dolby because I was like super excited for this movie. I'm a big audio person. I think we all are, as we were talking about headphones earlier.
It's true.
So was super pumped to kind of see like an audio centric horror movie. And wanted to catch it.
So you knew that going into it, huh?
Possible.
Is that the reation you caught it in Dolby? So you knew the
this
premise
is one,
and all that.
Yeah, this is one that popped up on my feed, like maybe like 2 to 3 months ago of just someone like saying like, oh hey, I just saw this at like a festival or whatever, and it was like kind of unique and pretty good, and so it just caught my attention. And then I read the synopsis for it, and I was like, oh, this does sound interesting, and it does sound like they're kind of leaning into the audio elements of the horror, and like that's not something I've like. Audio, of course, is important in every movie and especially horror, but like leaning into it in terms of like that's the main way you're trying to scare people is not something I've seen done in a while. At least I'm having a hard time thinking of like another example off the top of my head that isn't like a horror type podcast, that kind of thing. So seeing it done in a movie, I was kind of excited for it, and it piqued my interest, and then was desperate to see it in Dolby, and was glad that I could get a screening for it. And I do think, you know, I would have to see it in a regular theater that doesn't have the full surround sound, but I have to imagine that it's probably you know, a big difference, I think, between the kind of your experience maybe with the film after hearing it and seeing it in Dolby.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
I think there's some, and just the way they use the surround sound, like having it only come in front of you, I think would have been a little bit of a disservice to like how good the audio design truly was. I don't know if you would agree with that, Nathaniel, because I felt that coming out of the theater pretty much immediately.
Yeah, I think the audio design was really good. I feel like my viewing they had it about 2 notches too loud.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So like it was to a point where I really felt like I was like, this is certain parts of this are like uncomfortable for me to like listen to. Like I had like a finger on my ear kind of thing overall.
Sure.
And that kind of, I won't say colored my experience. I think overall.
You sure you weren't just scared? You sure you weren't just like covering your ears?
I mean, it's possible. No, there was definitely parts in here. There's definitely parts in this movie that I was spooked and that I was feeling like, you know, I think definitely early on there was moments where I was like, all right, I'm sinking into this and feeling, you know, in a place to be scared. But we'll talk more about that in a bit, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious to see Blake and Tyler what you guys are thinking, because it seemed like you guys were pretty blind when I brought this up for us to review, in terms of like hadn't really heard much about it, and I'm assuming went in pretty blind. So curious what you guys are thinking.
You want to go ahead?
I went in pretty blind, just based off of really the movie poster itself. In the title, I got a glimpse of like obviously main character with a set of headphones on, and then you get like the audio kind of frequency line going up, and obviously the the title, I knew this was going to have something to do with audio. I was kind of hoping that they would take a little bit of a page from, like we were talking about, and I bring it up, OG Quiet Place, where that was such like a new era for something that they did with audio for like the horror genre. And I don't know. I can't say that this was like my favorite. It's definitely not like the worst movie I've ever seen in my entire life, but it's by no means like the best movie I've ever seen in my entire life either. Other than like some unique sound designs, I really don't think that there was anything like super revolutionary here for the horror genre or the movie genre. I feel like A24 being as good as they are, they have some really like hit like bangers that people are just, it sticks with you, it's memorable. And then I feel like they have some of these ones where like, they got like filler kind of episodes for anime, and that's kind of like what this feels like for me. I'm really excited at the end of the movie. Didn't really think they did anything like too crazy. But we can obviously, get into more spoiler stuff and just kind of how I feel about it. I'm probably going to fall on to a not recommend, just because I think there's going to be better stuff that's out there for you to be able to go spend your time on. I will say I was very happy that this was an hour and a half, because if I was going to go into another horror movie and burn another 2.5 hours on some bullshit, I would have been pissed. So that's at least got that going for it. But yeah, other than that, we'll talk about it. But yeah.
So you are not a recommend, it sounds like?
Yeah, I'm probably going to be a not recommend.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Ty's got some good points. I wish I would have caught it in Dolby, but I wasn't as blind, so I wasn't really aware of the whole like shtick it had associated with it.
Sure.
So if I would have known that, I definitely would have tried to catch it in Dolby if possible, even within the limited screenings. Yeah, this is one going in blind. I mean, it was interesting. I heard few rumblings about it just kind of within like the horror communities, right, of on like Reddit and things that I kind of review, but you obviously don't try to read them. I just seen a lot of discourse about it, right? So I'm like, okay, it's got to have something going for it. Turns out it's obviously the audio portion of it. And sitting down and watching it, I mean, I think I align with Ty on most of it. Like
Do it.
it's I don't dislike the movie. I do think this is a movie that, like, once I was kind of doing some research upon it afterwards, like, I did think this movie's going to do great at the box office, right? This movie probably cost a nickel to make, right? And they're gonna fly through that in terms of what they get. So shout out to the director, and I do want to give credit to like original ideas, right? We always try to do that on this podcast. So definitely shout out original ideas, putting thoughts to pen and pen to film, right? So we do appreciate that. But yeah, it's one that I think it has all the bones of being a really good horror movie. I just don't think it executes it in the way that I would like it to be executed. I think that's kind of like the easiest way for me to articulate my thoughts. Once we get into spoilers, there are kind of some things I'll chat about. As far as recommending, not recommending, I mean, I would probably still recommend though. Like it's not the Bye Bye Man, right, from 2016 or whatever it is, right? Like I've seen much worse horror films. Like, you know what I mean? This does have some redeeming qualities and original thoughts and ideas, right? So I appreciate that. But I don't think this is one that I have the takeaway that kind of the masses have, and I'll use masses in quotations, of it being like a great horror film, right? I don't know if I sit there from my horror knowledge, but yeah, that's kind of my thoughts. We'll talk about it in spoilers, so I can kind of deep dive some of that stuff. But yeah, it was interesting to go in blind, though. I will say that, like, not really having any idea, and sit down. I was like, oh, had no idea what the fuck this movie was going to be about, but didn't expect it to be a audio podcast horror movie. Right, like that was intriguing to me. Obviously, we have a fucking podcast.
I was going to say, so we didn't really talk about that. The fact that it's a movie about a podcast.
So like the concept got me in immediately, dude. It has good bones for sure. But I just think the execution's kind of a little wonky at times. But yeah, go ahead if you want to chat about the podcast portion of it.
Well, yeah, no, I was just gonna say it's kind of fun having another movie. Like we've had movies where there's a podcast or a person with a podcast involved. But it's often used as like a gag sometimes. Of like again, we referenced the MonsterVerse earlier. Of like
right.
It is kind of
it's
a gag,
usually one character who has a podcast about the events like going on in that universe.
Well, and
you know what I mean.
Wasn't it one of the Ghostbusters that the characters called podcast?
So to have the movie be centered around one was interesting. And there was it also made it funny in certain elements where like, I mean, this is not necessarily a spoiler, but like one of their like recording sessions is like 5 minutes.
They
sit down to record, they hop on a call, and then she's like, actually I gotta go. And it's just like,
also,
all right, well, you guys recorded for
jealous
5
of their setup as well too. Like it seemed clean.
Yeah, it is.
Whatever headphones she has.
Yeah, no kidding.
Beautiful headphones. Yeah, she's got some
and Mike.
The other guy's place is a fucking wreck, dude. There's just wires and shit everywhere. Like he clearly handles all their production.
Yeah, he's got 6 amps.
Yeah, she's just got a laptop and like a little mini amp for her mic.
Yeah, everything's Macintosh tube amps behind him.
It's for sure. Expensive, overwhelming chaos at that guy's house.
That's funny. But personally, my overall thoughts. I enjoyed the movie, and I hear your guys' criticisms, and I do agree with them to an extent because I think there is a lot of. It's not the most well written movie, and like I think on paper I was expecting them to do a little bit more than they did with like the audio horror. Because I think they left some kind of they left some things unscratched. Some of the surface was yet to be uncovered with like what they could have fully gone into. So there's some portions where I was kind of waiting for them to amplify it a little bit more, and it definitely has the moments of like, well, it's a horror movie, and like movies in general don't follow this, but it's like, all right, well, this wouldn't happen this way, or like this character wouldn't react this way. You know what I mean? And it's fine because again, every movie has that. This one just has a lot of it where I'm just like, oh man, like you're just not acting rationally at all, and sometimes that can be a little bit hard to look past. And I think we've talked about it pretty often of like, it's nice and refreshing when a character reacts the way that you would react in a situation, and the movie kind of addresses that in certain ways. This movie does not have that. But overall, I will want to give this movie props for being somewhat original and being a new idea and kind of finding new ways to scare people as horror is always trying to do. And as someone who is super into audio just in general in terms of sound for movies, and then the podcast stuff, and just someone who has edited sound and that kind of thing, like it was super up my alley to get a movie like this that is leaning into that. And on top of it, like I think this is the thing that I want to give this movie props for is like, this is the first movie for me in a long time a horror movie that I've walked out of like still on edge a little bit. And like that hasn't happened for me in a while. Of like, I walked out still kind of like walking down the dark hallway out of the theater, kind of like, checking behind me, that kind of thing. Like really just still feeling a little on edge, and I haven't had that feeling in a long time, and I think that's worth something. Like that is a good sign of like they are doing something right here, and it might not be the most well written, it might not need to be the best movie overall. They probably could have done a little bit more, and maybe they will make a sequel of some sort to this. The ending is somewhat ambiguous. But I definitely want to give this movie props for like, this was the first time in a while that I've walked out of a horror movie feeling that way. So I want to give it a cheers for that.
Yeah, that's That's fair. Yeah, if you can walk out of a horror movie and you kind of have that feeling where it's still sitting with you when you're walking back to your car or you're walking out of the movie theater, then yeah, it's done its job, I would say. So yeah, definitely glad to give its praise for that. Spoilers.
Yeah, Nathaniel, you have anything else you want to add?
Oh yeah, I was gonna say I haven't talked yet.
Oh shit, my bad.
No, you're good. Man, I am in a foot firmly in two camps with this movie. As I said earlier, there were scenes in this movie that genuinely scared me, and I have thought about this movie a lot since I left the theater. And
also a good sign.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that comes down to, for me as a person, I find audio recordings to be particularly scary because I have zero control in that situation. Sure. I feel like for me, like I've seen so many movies and so much stuff that most of the time, if it's a visual thing, I have a pretty good idea of like what can happen in that kind of thing. An audio recording of like someone on their phone or something like that. I remember I've listened to a couple true crime podcasts, and there's a few of them out there where like they'll play like the last known phone call of someone or like the 911 calls, and those always freak me out.
Yeah.
Like it's just people, it feels very real to me, and it feels like I really don't have very much, like I don't know what to expect in that moment. I think this movie plays on that very well, and it plays on it a lot, and then like it will, the audio side of it, and again, like I think the movie theater or the viewing I saw it on, it felt a little over loud. Like there was points where it's gonna go for the big sting, and like I was like uncomfortable in that moment. So I think those are definitely effective parts of this movie. On the other hand, this movie finished, and I turned to the person I was seeing it with, and I was like, I don't think I liked that very much. And it really just came down to some choices overall. I wonder if part of it is I am me, and I have seen a lot of horror movies. And this one, where it decides to delve deeper, or the parts that it decides to delve deeper in, I just maybe feel like are better. There are better examples in other horror movies that I've seen. And so like my brain naturally kind of just kicks to those and is like, okay, well, it isn't that. And then I kind of find myself wishing this movie did a lot of different things. And that's always tricky too, because, you know, the big part for me I try and take is like, you got to look at the movie for what it is. And like, you know, I don't have a button to fix it, and I don't have a thing to go on there. And no matter what I wish they did in some different way, that would just make it my movie, not the movie that's there, you know? So I try and stay away from that. However, there are like a couple of scenes where I'm just like, man, I wish there was a little bit different way that we kind of explored this and that kind of thing overall. So yeah, I am unfortunately, and I went in pretty blind as well too. All I knew that it was a podcast horror movie, and that it was A24. Yeah. I think this is a really interesting genre, and I think it's a really compelling genre that can do a lot of cool stuff. There's a movie that came out, I want to say, maybe 10 years ago now, called Barbarian Sound Studio, which is stars Toby Jones, and he is a editor or a sound editor at a studio in Italy. That's making like the giallo films in like the 70s, and like he is like listening or has to like come up with sounds for murder, and like that starts to drive him crazy a little bit. And I think that's a very kind of interesting spiritual prequel to this in some ways. I think the the world of the podcast movie and the podcast horror movie is ripe in like a really interesting space to take over. I just don't think this one's so successful all the time, and I wish in some areas it had been done things a bit differently. But let's talk more about that and spoilers. I think if I woke up in a movie theater and this was playing, would I be intrigued enough to keep watching? I think I would. So I think I would be a recommend on that alone. But it's by the skin of its teeth. Like I don't there's things that I really don't like about this movie, and we'll talk about that in spoilers, but I think that might be more of a personal thing. So I'm gonna give this a recommend, but we'll go from there.
Well said.
All right. Well, there you have it. Blake, you a recommend? Yeah.
Yeah. In short, yeah.
Okay. So then, 3 recommends, 1 not a recommend. One of those recommends being by narrow margins. With all that being said, though, we're going to go ahead and head into spoilers. So if you've not seen Undertone and don't want it spoiled for you, go ahead, check the episode description, right up the timestamp you can jump to, or you'll be taking the ranking of the movie up upon our Entropy list.
Cool.
Nathaniel, do you have like a banging sound you
I
can
was
play?
gonna say.
Do you have
Hold on.
like a bag with something in it?
There you go. One of the few ones I can actually hear.
That's hilarious. Yeah, that was finally.
I'll kind of get it out there unless you really want to go, Blake.
No, go ahead, Ty.
So I will give this movie props for the fact that obviously it's a podcast like we talked about.
Yeah.
We've seen other movies that do have people with podcasts in them, but the movie itself is never really centralized around that idea. So that's pretty cool. Obviously, the audio design is pretty cool. You get the noise cancellation kind of vacuum feel when she puts the headphones on. There's really good kind of like ASMR vibes around like when they're talking and kind of like how we hear ourselves in our podcast. So that's really relatable for us too. So that's cool. I also did a little bit of looking into after the fact. So the director actually started writing this during COVID. His parents both basically became terminally ill during COVID. I believe it was with cancer, and he moved in with them to basically take care of them, which is where this whole idea kind of stems from. And then he obviously put his horror story kind of vibe / spin on it. So it's really cool that he obviously has such a strong tie to what the themes that he finds in this movie are. And I understand that there's some pretty deep vibes to, dealing with grief in different ways. And just kind of that whole background. So that's really cool that he was able to kind of put all this in here. My only thing is those are like really deep emotional ties for him, and unless you look into it, you're really never gonna get that, or unless you deal with grief in like that kind of way. So it doesn't overly catch me there, but it's cool because I looked into it and I respect like what he went through and what he put into it. I don't think that there's a ton of original ideas here. It's just demon shit all over again. That's all it is. like it's like almost every other horror movie that you can kind of put that spin on. There's banging, there's fucking grudge noises, there's fucking there's shit happening. So yeah, it's one of those things where I think it's going to be relatively forgettable for me in that standpoint, where it's just another demon spitting out some shit that you got to play in reverse, and they come out and they kill things or make people kill things. And so for me, that's where it kind of all fell apart. I really wish that there was a little bit more kind of to it, but for me, and maybe us talking about it will get me to spark something else that maybe I will think that it's great or something like that. But for me, That's kind of just where this movie will live and die. It's just a demon movie. There's stuff floating on the walls. There are cabinets opening. There's pots going whistly. There's faucets turning on, and
Yeah, this chick loves tea, man.
And moms winding up on floors. Oh, and I bet you would never guess that there's a religious tie to it. So for me, it's just kind of like one of those things where it's like, yeah, seen it, heard it, and cool. We're good. We're good here. I'm glad it was an hour and a half.
Yeah. What?
No, I align with a lot of the shit you're saying, man. And yeah, like there's certain things that occur in this movie, to what you're saying, and to even Nathaniel's point too, that I would prefer just to pull from another horror movie, right? So if we're just looking at a religious aspect, I'd rather turn on, like, for modern times, I'd rather turn on like a Saint Maud, right? For a religious aspect horror.
Sure.
We do want to praise the podcast portion of it. That's cool. Noise canceling headphones, that's cool. The audio files, that's cool. But it's I think where it became a hiccup to me was just that I could not find myself rooting for Evie, like one of the dumbest characters that we've had in recent horror movies. So like at the end, right, when all the stakes are high, it's like I'm just not rooting for her. Like, you haven't done anything for me to root for you. Like, it's you're in a awful situation, of course, right? You have this podcast and you're playing these unknown tapes, right, with your podcast host, and these weird things are happening within your home, and they're matching the tapes that you're playing.
Lights flickering and shit. I'm done. We're not following. We're not going down this fucking road. Like,
It's mind blowing, dude. 100%. It's mind blowing. Where it's echoing the things that are happening in the tapes, and then she just like brushes it off of just like
Deliberately ignores it every time.
Yeah, and that's when I was just like, I just don't. That was my biggest gripe, right?
Yeah,
It's like, she's just not an intelligent person, and like I can't root for you, man. It's like,
yeah. It's interesting too, because like obviously in a podcast you want to have people with like somewhat different views. You don't want everybody agreeing on everything all the time, because then it just gets boring and there's no dialogue.
Yeah.
So the fact that Justin is the character that is more of like, I believe in this shit, like this is real, we should not pursue, and she's usually the person that's a little bit more realistic. I don't believe in demons or anything like that shit. So I get that aspect of it. The other part too that like just like ruins it for me completely is the demon that's involved here is a demon that is about basically infertility. It gets jealous because other people can have babies and all this other stuff, and so it forces its way into them to basically make them kill their babies. She finds out she's pregnant, and then she ultimately decides that she's probably going to have an abortion. So why
she should welcome the demon
and even fucking bothering her? Like, it won already. Like, it's like, oh, cool. Well, all right, cool. All right, fuck it. Well, but like, you're still bothering me? Get out of here.
Yeah, no, you're right, dude. And I think that's one of the portions to me that it's not as fleshed out as it should be. Like, it seemed like the podcast and the demon aspect was part of it, but then it seemed like the underlying message of like infertility and women bearing children, that seemed to be something they almost just like threw that shit in at the end. Almost like, let's like, how else can we make this even more fucked up, right? It's like there's demons in your house, but also women bearing children and it going wrong, right? Like, that's almost how it seemed to me, because I couldn't really find a direct tie to like that. Like, it would have been nice if maybe we got that tie back to the mother, and like the mother was once had infertility issues with Evie's unborn sibling or something like that. You know what I mean? But like, maybe I'm asking for too much background, but that would make a little more sense. But yeah, it seemed like I'm just like, I just don't get it, because I'm like, she doesn't even want the kid anyways. So
that's the 2-hour director's cut. I don't want to see.
I was gonna.
You're probably right.
Well, what I was gonna say was that's definitely feels like the bit that they like added on to get an extra 10
100%.
minutes for to make it from like a short film to a full feature length.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was killing me when, like, at the end they're kind of like going through it and like shit's happening in real time, and she's just like sitting there coloring, and I'm like, you're literally, you look like you're possessed right now. You don't even know
Well,
what you're coloring.
I think she
But
partially
you're
is.
just coloring.
I think that's
For
like
sure.
I do think
Yeah.
in that
Yeah,
part,
yeah,
like she's
for sure.
definitely losing her grip, and like that's on there. And
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to take anything away from Evie. I think she's a pretty good actress. Like I
agree.
She doesn't have a lot to
Yeah,
do.
no,
or,
I
like,
think she did
She doesn't
well
have
with
any
what she had
help
to work
in
with.
this movie. Like
Yeah.
she is
Yep. Give her
reacting
credit
to
for
a
that.
voice
Solos.
actor. Yeah,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and that's one thing that we haven't really addressed yet. This movie takes place in one house.
Very small.
it's
scale.
one location with
Yeah.
2 people on screen.
Yeah, and 2
Yeah.
sets basically
Yeah.
at the most. You got the hallway, the mom's bedroom, and then Evie's.
And the living
Well,
room.
living room
apparently
studio.
this was filmed in the director's like childhood home, like his parents'
Yeah, I would
house.
bet.
Sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
Saved a ton of money.
But
Mm.
yeah, so I think those are all in its favor. Like the man, for me, there's so many things that like I want to love about this movie. Like those parts of it that feels very, blue collar
Yeah.
horror. Like we're all in this together,
Mhm.
like building our stuff. I am tired, and I find my parents are aging, and this brings me great horror trope to be really played out at this point.
Mm.
And like I still thankfully have both my parents, but I know people, and I'm close with people who have parents who are either on their way out or are so so diminished that they need constant care. And it's not scary. It's just sad. And like I understand that I feel like that's definitely a thing among millennials, that there's this thing that we are going to have to take care of our parents as they die. And there is this like definitely boomer generation above us where there's going to be so many people in this position and I don't think a lot of people maybe have thought about this yet, but like there is going to be a large demand of our time coming up pretty soon as our parents start to kind of age into this kind of thing. And I understand why that's scary. But like, I didn't find it in this context to justify that kind of element that it's bringing in there.
Yeah.
And then the whole kind of thing of like, well, female demon, female girl, it's going to be pregnancy based. And like, that was just also where I was just kind of like, oh, okay, it has to be. Like, we got to go down this route at this point.
Yeah.
And then, like, when I thought they were going to do something interesting with her, like, leaving to go to this party, we never see that as well, too.
Yeah.
And that kind of thing. And, like, the boyfriend is, like, this character. But then, like, she seems to have weird, almost relationship tension with the co-host as well, too.
Yeah, they set that up, and then it's very odd because the movie
it's
opens
never
with
really...
them.
brought up
give
again.
a line of like, well, I had just come to visit you. And it's just like,
yeah.
okay, so there's obviously some tension there, but and then she asked him about his relationship, and then he asked her about her relationship, and then we never really, it was a Darren, I think.
Yeah.
And we never meet Darren.
I saw, I think on the IMDb page, one of the trivia things that like is it Justin is the co-host?
Yeah.
The actor that played him, his voice was replaced. So like, there's definitely parts where I felt like, oh man, like this dude was not in the same room when they were talking to each other originally on this. So I wonder if maybe that original audio would have been a little bit more thing, but that was definitely something that took me out kind of pretty early on that side of things, where he kind of felt like he was just not talking to her, actually just reading the lines.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Which I will say, like, that's somewhat surprising for me, because there are moments where I could see how that's the case, but there are definitely moments where it does feel kind of natural. It goes back and forth depending on kind of which phone call they're on, almost.
It gets better as the movie goes on.
Yeah.
The last thing I'll say, and this was another kind of a bit of my frustration with this movie, the cuts to black and then just audio, while good at isolating me in the audio, I wish they had done the waveform on screen.
Yeah.
I think that really would have helped on that, or even like the thing of like seeing it come across, so then you have something to build anticipation. Because like there's definitely like the guy says multiple times, like I'm scrolling ahead to the bump in the waveform or something like that. Like if it had something like that, because that really got into this thing of like, well, why am I watching this? This would almost be better as a podcast, maybe. You know? Yeah.
See,
go
that's
ahead.
where I'm gonna disagree with you a little bit there. Where like I felt, because I hear what you're saying, and I had a similar thought of like, well, this is almost just I am in the theater listening to a podcast at points, and obviously that's going to happen with a movie of this kind of plot and everything like that, and when you're involving this kind of story. But I think the director did a great job of, you know, he uses the empty space of the frame and does some things that are just like and this is going to be something else I brought up where like I was really happy with myself because I was like, I've now watched horror long enough for the last 5 years since we've had this podcast.
Sure.
I've just watched more and more and kept up with new stuff where I'm like, oh, these slow pans he keeps doing. I saw that in Nosferatu. You know what I mean? And now he's bringing it over. And then, you know, and then keeping the character isolated at the corner of the frame and leaving a lot of background space open for us to like kind of be on edge. That's long legs. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. So like I was really happy watching this, be like, oh, I've seen that before. He's pulling from this movie, and like cool to see that inspiration being now I can like recognize.
But he never makes good on it. And that was, I think, a big problem I had. There's never the insidious moment.
A couple times. There's not the insidious moment, and you are waiting for it the whole time. But I almost think that's part of it. Of like you are waiting for it the whole time. But so the visually you're on edge, and as you're listening to the audio, and I think he does a good job of like, to your point of like, why am I watching this? I think he does a good enough job of setting it up so that like you are, you know, you're watching something that has you on edge if you're looking at the screen of like, I just don't feel comfortable with all that, you know, negative space, all that you know, area behind her for something to come in that it primes you while you're listening to the audio to just be on edge the whole time too. And I think he does do a pretty good job of that. Personally, I felt that.
For sure, dude. I agree. And that's what I'm saying, where I think the bones of this are a good movie. From a technical scale, I love this for a horror movie. On a technical sense, has everything that I value out of a horror movie. And sometimes they may not capitalize right on that negative space, and there was a ton of it. So you always catch yourself looking in the background, and just by happenstance of doing it so much, you can talk yourself into seeing shit in the background, right? So like that is a satisfying part as being the viewer. And another thing I do want to give it credit for in a technical sense is that this is one of the first movies that I've seen, and they didn't dive all the way into it. I wish they would have dove even further, right? Once they got to playing the songs backwards, I thought that was going to be the gist of the movie, right? And that was intriguing to me because almost anybody who is of like millennial age has gone through that path in YouTube before, where like you're listening to songs backwards, and that's how people started coming across like the Illuminati and devil worshiping, right? So like that was a really cool portion of the movie that they introduced immediately, and then it ended up just being like audio files like from the call-in in little portions that they played backwards. But I wish they would have leaned I wish they would have leaned all the way into like just the children's songs being in reverse.
But there's almost a sinister bit about that,
and
right?
I was like, oh, okay, like I'm really into this. I think I know where it's gonna go, right? But I'm into it if that's the path they take. And sure enough, I was wrong, because then they end up getting into phone calls that are calling in, which I have a few problems with those.
Didn't love that part.
It's
like
I like it from an audio sense, but I think a few things about it
doesn't make sense.
Yes, plot wise doesn't make sense to me. Second part is eventually it became annoying of hearing Justin like, "Hey, did you hear that?" Then Evie like, "No, I didn't catch it." And then like, "Okay, I'm gonna replay it." And then like by like the fucking 10th clip, like I don't want to hear that anymore. That's the same interaction every single time. It's like that's tiresome, and the little nuances that I think would have would have gone better if the director would have taken that step of not having the viewer be an idiot, for lack of a better term, right? Is like, even when Justin's like, hey, like, we've got these voicemails, it came in from an anonymous email, I don't know what the email is, and then he forwards the email over to her, she opens the attachment, has all 10 links, right? And then eventually later on we find out the name of the demon, Abazu, and then like once he's playing the clips, then he's like, well, wait a minute, I just found out the email addresses come in Abazu backwards. But like, I wish they just would have left that up to the viewer and just like saw her open the email attachment. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's the stuff that, like,
on a
that's what I've been a
rewatch,
sucker
you
for.
see it. Yeah,
Exactly. That's the stuff that I'd be a sucker for, opposed to Justin like just being like, wait a minute, I just read the email. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know, dude. That's kind of my complaints, guys. But please, somebody,
man.
somebody take
I
over.
no, I all of this stuff is super valid. I mean, I think.
Yeah,
We've said it a couple times, man. The bones are there, and I'm waiting the whole time for them to kind of just
for sure
crank it up a little bit
Yeah,
and
I
be
agree,
like,
I
"Oh,
agree.
this is a cool thing. Like, what are we doing here?" And
Yeah.
it just feels like we play it kind of safe and kind of
Mhm.
and as a first time director, I mean, sometimes that maybe he was just kind of, you don't want to take
Yeah,
a big swing like
for
that.
sure. Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's valid. You know what I mean? Like, I think like, again, on a technical level, like, I think there's a lot of things done really well here. And story wise, yeah, there's some things that could have been done better, or things that, you could maybe have amplified. But for a first time director, a movie this small, that kind of thing, like, I do want to give him props for it, man. I did feel like there are such good pieces here, that it was a good first swing for him. What were you gonna say, Nathaniel?
I think part of my frustration is that they didn't take $5,000 and show me an interesting demon. Get someone to make up something or other there. Like, it's just, at no point was I feeling like, oh, this guy's gonna show me something interesting and that side of things.
Yeah. I agree with you that. I threw that out about halfway. Although I would probably challenge you on, I don't know if I would have even wanted them to show me something.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Because I feel like it just would have came off as like wonky. Like, even when you think back at Insidious, like in real time, that was cool. But now thinking back on Insidious 15 years later, like, the demon just looks like it's a fucking
but like,
donkey
even
with a
like
face.
It's Darth Maul's Temu cousin.
It just doesn't look cool. You know what I
But,
mean?
like,
So
I think,
would
like,
probably challenge you a little bit on
but
that,
like
man.
female demon, like, we haven't had one of those necessarily.
The
and that
nun,
kind of
man.
thing.
I mean,
None. Okay, sure. Fine, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like,
I do hear you though.
or if you're not gonna do that,
I get it.
if you're not gonna do that, then make it a fake. Make it that that Justin's fucking with her the whole time, and like that.
yeah.
that
I would have
like,
hated that.
That like there's something else going on there or something else, because like that was the other thing that I'm thinking as well too, is like,
or that he's in on it.
Yeah,
Right?
it's
Would you have been okay with
That would have
that?
been crazy
like,
too.
there's this element, and like I came out of it feeling like, okay, they're trying to do Paranormal Activity for the audio realm, and like I think there's interesting things to do there, but like this just doesn't quite hit on that side of things. And like, to that, like, again, to me, the scariest part of this movie is the last recording, where then you finally get the lady beating the baby against a furnace or something like that, which is scary enough. I think they there was a test screening or someone where people didn't get that, because then earlier in the thing they had the phone call where the lady's like, yeah, she hit her kid against the furnace, and like spells it out for her basically as well
to
too.
your point, man, too many things are just handed to you on a platter.
Like,
the bones are there, but it's like, I don't need all of that to be spoon-fed to me.
Or
You know
I
what
need
mean?
something different, like go something wild with it. Like,
I think rather than show me,
Sounds like you guys don't like this movie.
No,
I really don't. From a technical sense, I like it, but as a horror film, I agree with you. I agree.
I'm not gonna die on this movie. Like, on a hill for this movie. I just think,
I agree.
Technically, I think it's doing some stuff well.
Yeah,
I like
for a movie that doesn't have any gore in it, and for a movie that doesn't really have anything that's gonna, like,
I think instead of like a fun, or sorry, not a like a unique, like, demon of some
I
kind.
had tons of fun.
Yeah. A unique or like interesting like demon of some kind. Like I would rather have had like give me that in audio form. Like what's a new sound that I haven't heard before that makes my skin crawl? You know, like what is that? Because I was waiting the whole time. Again, we've talked about this a couple times, but like, you know, I was waiting for like, what is going to really scare me audio wise, or like, I'm going to get the hair on the back of my neck's going to stand up. And like, it ended up being like, oh, these are scary things that you're hearing and not like, this sounds scary. If that makes sense.
The demon like a cool voice over and
something
like
or
it speak to you through the microphone versus just like little audio clips of like things it has said.
Yeah, I mean,
it's.
I was waiting for something to be thrown out there that I just wasn't expecting. Because like while I loved the concept here, like I was just waiting for something to come out that I hadn't like heard before, really. Because I think that's, you know, I think the audio elements here are very solid, but it's nothing like super revolutionary. Like the kids song thing, it seems like that was what they were trying to go for. Like, oh, all these kids songs are pretty creepy, especially when you play them in reverse. Did you hear that?
And I was in for that.
But like,
I was in.
I'm gonna be honest,
and I was for a little bit. But
I didn't really hear it either. Like the one where it's like,
No,
lick the
neither did
blood off. I was
was
like, well, what
into
the
the
fuck?
movie.
What the fuck does that mean?
Yeah, it's like, well, it's like you're trying to get me to hear it, and I'm like halfway there. Like, you really want me to hear this?
Like Blair Witch has like the fact that it was found footage in the internet, right? And Paranormal Activity has the fact that like the little timer in the corner ticks up, and you're like, oh shit, something's gonna happen. Like, and it's that slow build. This needs its own thing that makes it the found
Death
footage.
clock.
It's something that just pulls you fully in, and I don't know. It's missing that for some.
I disagree, Nathaniel. It's actually the noise of the noise canceling headphone sucking the sound out of the room. I mean, that was peak, man. That was revolutionary every time.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I would have felt better about it. If not, then I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have to cover my ears for the next 2 minutes, because when this thing does go off, I'm gonna be like physically unwell.
Yeah.
Well, the scariest part for me is when the picture's on the TV and then she finds out
that
TV's been unplugged.
That was a very freaky photo that they had.
It was.
It almost seemed like the photo was like moving as well.
Yeah,
right. Like her mouth.
It's like she was like slowly morphing into a demon. Yeah, it was odd.
Yeah.
Did not like it.
I just love the fact that she's like hitting the screen and then she like just bends over and she picks it up and it's been unplugged the entire time. It's like, oh my god.
Yeah. I mean, even from a technical scale, right? I mean, some of the camera work in here is good. We're talking about audio.
Yeah.
But like we've talked about negative space, we've talked about using her in the center
Those
frame.
Slow pans were cool. I love the way
slow pans,
that shot going
camera
down
pitch.
the circular staircase. Like when it's following her into the living. I'm like, dude, that's good. I'm down with that for sure.
You even get the Evil Dead like demon camera that like travels from the bedroom down the stairs to the living room.
Right.
You get that.
Yeah, I love the sense too that like they set up the story, and I think it's somewhat one of the smarter things they did writing wise was like her co-host is in the UK or in Europe somewhere, so that she has to record at 3 a.m. and everyone knows that feeling of like 3 a.m. and you're up and everyone else is asleep or you're home alone and not all the lights are on. And it's just
not
like,
even God's awake anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so you're kind of feeling eerie around every corner, that kind of thing. So like I think he does a really good job of putting you in that situation. Would never in my life would I put on noise canceling headphones at night alone at 3 a.m. I mean, Jesus, what are you doing? But just setting up the camera of like it's recording, sit in the hallway and like kind of pans in the corner. It gives you that feeling of like, and as they play the recordings, you kind of like get further and further into the room as like they're inviting the demon further and further in, and like you definitely get that feeling of like something, you're kind of moving into that room as they get close or as they go through the recordings and stuff like that. So I thought that was pretty well done in terms of setting up when she's recording and it being such like an isolating point of the day / night of like, I do not like that feeling. And every time she put on those headphones, it 3 a.m. in a house alone. I was like, what are you doing? Why would
Yeah,
you do that?
no, you're right with that, Adam, and you hit a valid point too earlier when we started recording. Spoilers when we're like, hey, like but some of the part that drove me insane with recording, because obviously we record a podcast we're talking on right now,
Sure.
and there's one in the movie, but there's scenes where like they're recording. To your point, it's like you just recorded a podcast for like 4 minutes, dude. Like there's like that's not real. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
one of the
some that
calls is
stuff-
legitimately like they talked for less than 5 minutes, and she's like,
yeah.
I've got to go. And then he's like, well, I've got to go to work. But then I'm like, this is this. You guys recorded at the same time, like the night before. Like, do you always have work at this time? Like, it was just. So yeah, recording one episode in like 5 sessions is not the way I would ever record one. But
no, I agree,
know.
dude.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, it's got good bones, man. But the Evie character, I don't want to downplay her. And actually, let me not say that. Let me go ahead and actually give her credit immediately off her name.
It's Nina Carey.
Carey, I want to say Nina Carey does excellent in this film, right? For what she's given, she's basically tasked to be out here and do a solo movie the entire time, right? Because her mom's there and her mom doesn't have any words. So shout out to her, and she definitely carries over a majority of this, but the way she's written sometimes is just infuriating. Like I said,
100%.
One of the dumbest horror characters that I've seen in a while, right? You're taking care of your ailing mother who's in a vegetative state. She can't move. You're doing some weird shit podcasts, calling in, or you have callers, you have voicemails coming in about some true crime, XYZ, right? And then like your water turns on. And you go up there and you're just like, huh, that's strange. My mom hasn't moved in fucking 95 days.
But don't forget you're pregnant.
Yeah, it's like, but like the sink just came on. So like, whatever, I'll turn it off. And then like you go up there and it's like, your mom hasn't moved in now 97 days. It's like, but the closet door's open and the light's on. I'm just going to go close the closet door and shut the light off and like just go back to what I was doing. So like stuff like that where I'm like, there's the movie. It's okay when people make like dumb decisions in movies, but they have to be realistic and rational. I feel like at one point, like by like the 3rd or 4th time, 100%, Nathaniel, by like the 3rd or 4th incident, like you would just be like, all right, dude, like what the fuck is going on? And she just like blows past every single one, despite them being played on the fucking clip she's talking about.
Yeah.
Like it's mind blowing, dude. I'm like, she's just like, I can't root for her, man. Like the demons in the house at the end.
Get her a
and I'm just like, you know what, man? Like, I don't really care. Yeah. It's like I don't really care if she dies, man. Like she doesn't deserve it. So
go watch The First Omen, folks.
Legitimately. Another good horror based movie. Go watch The First Omen. Go watch Saint Maud. Hell, go watch the OG Exorcist.
Yeah.
I would put this over The Exorcist Believer. I will say that though.
Well, maybe that's a nice transition for us here.
Yeah, I was gonna say let's find out what else we'd put this over. Let's move on to spoilers, and welcome back to listeners who skipped over the spoiler segment of the podcast. We're gonna go ahead and throw up Undertone up upon our Entropy list. For those of you who do not know, the Entropy list is Back Row Banter's official list of all the movies we have reviewed on the podcast, all compared to one another on one fantastic list. It's essentially how we rate our movies rather than do it out of 5 stars, out of 10, whatever it is. We throw up all the movies we review on a list and see how they compare to one another. We now have the Entropy list in tiers. So once it is ranked, it'll get slotted into one of 7 tiers, starting at the top of the S tier, and all the way at the bottom is the money laundering tier, where we have to question it. It's a movie so bad. Was it made to launder money? If you want to reference the entropy list or the tiered list, both are linked in the episode description. This is going to be entry 267 on our entropy list. Okay.
Entropy list.
Entropy. All right.
We really hated Conjuring third Conjuring, didn't we?
It's bad, dude, and it's justified. It's really bad.
Yeah, it's a movie I
Really
haven't
bad
even
movie.
thought of in a long time.
We never
No,
saw the
I only
fourth
think
one.
about it.
I can't even only scene I can
Yeah,
recall is aren't they
I
in
did
like
hear good about that as
catacombs at one
Yeah,
point in
yeah.
there, or like the basement of like a farmhouse or something?
Yeah.
It's the only thing I remember.
And then poor
I'm
Blind
glad I
Spotting.
don't remember anything about that
Just
movie.
getting shit on down there. 206.
Yeah, that one is one I do feel bad about because I do enjoy that movie.
We have Anaconda rated above Blind Spotting.
Yeah, that one definitely slid pretty far down.
I'm fairly certain I put Anaconda below that, so that's on you guys.
Definitely was on me.
Okay. Ooh. Okay. Yeah, I've hit a
This is
hard.
tough.
I've had a hard cap early here, and it was
Mm.
not where I was expecting it to be.
What's your hard cap?
Final Destination Bloodlines.
Where's that at?
176.
176.
Okay. Well, that would be C tier. Just so
Okay.
you know, C tier starts as Gladiator
Yeah.
2 to Blind Spotting. D tier is Ferrari to Quantum Mania.
I'm
F
gonna put
tier
this.
starts at King of Monsters.
I'm gonna
That
put this
just- that
right
hurts to
below
say out
Blind
loud.
Spotting. Then
Dude, I was just thinking the same thing. I'm going to do the same. I'm going to do 207 below Blind Spotting above Ferrari.
So is
does
that
feel
because
right.
you think this is a C tier movie? Is that what?
I do think it's a C tier movie, but then when I look at the
Okay.
movies in that area, I'm like, yeah, all the movies like Blind Spotting and above, like I would probably put this below for the most part. I mean, there's a few exceptions maybe, but like it's all pretty close together.
Mhm.
I think it's definitely in that realm that I'm looking at there around like
yeah.
you know
I
205.
like Final Destination 3 so much more than this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I agree. I agree.
But and I
I
also
agree.
think Ferrari and below. I'm like, yeah, I would love to put all
Yeah,
those movies below this one.
I think
so
this
I
is
think
better
that's a
than
perfect
Caught
spot for me.
Stealing. Like,
Yeah, I
had a-
agree. I agree.
Yeah, I'm right below Blind Spotting. 207.
Cool.
Easy enough.
I'm also there. Yeah.
yeah.
And to clarify, because I think that Blind Spotting is currently the last movie of the C tier. I'm advocating
Correct.
this be the new last movie of the C tier, not the first.
See,
movie of
I'm
the
on.
C tier.
I'm D
Okay.
plus tier. I'm going.
Oh, shit.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah.
I guess we haven't figured out how to determine that.
We'll
part of
find
those
out.
things.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
I guess we will.
I'm kind of in. I'm in that same section though. Immediately, I go to the tier list, right? I'm saying, okay, I'm thinking C, D. Then I see what the top of C is. I'm like, okay, no way. Then I go to D. I see some of those films. When you start looking at horror, I see your Quiet Place Part 2. I see your Candyman 2021. Army of the Dead, like very forgettable. I would put this above that. Men is like,
Men.
yeah, Alex Garland. It's got some redeeming qualities similarly to this. It's got some redeeming qualities. So I'm kind of battling somewhere in there. I don't think I can go outside, like below D tier, just because Quantum Mania is awful. But I would like to put King of Monsters above this film.
Sure.
But yeah, I think I'm getting long-winded here. But yeah, I think I see the low end of C tier and the horror movies there: The Blackening, Final Destination 3, The Black Phone 2, Paranormal Activity, VHS, Evil Dead Rise. I can't put this above any of those besides maybe like The Black Phone 2. I'm ultimately going. You guys got a good spot, man. I'm gonna go 207 though. I'm gonna go
Hell
below
yeah.
Ferrari.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Hell
go
yeah.
below Ferrari and above First Steps. I just don't care for First Steps. At least this has a technical sense that I appreciate from the horror
Sure.
aspect. First Steps doesn't have any of that for me.
Tyler.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a touch lower. I do think this still has some redeeming qualities, like we
Ooh.
talked about, but I just think it's too far gone for me.
What'd you just notice,
Um,
Blake?
Well, my biggest thing was once I got
I'll let
down
Ty go.
to kind of like your guys' area where you were at, I scrolled down a little bit further, and obviously I do see other horror movies or a horror movie adjacent, like Renfield, A Quiet Place 2, Halloween Ends, The Exorcist, Halloween Kills, and so I'm like, I think that like from a technical standpoint, these are or this is better than some of those, or probably most of those realistically. But if I'm going out of that genre, I see things that should be significantly higher, like Forgetting Sarah Marshall. And I just can't put this movie above that. So I'm going to go just below that at 225.
All right.
Yeah, and that's very true, Ty. When you start looking at movies outside of the horror community, particularly in that high F, low D tier, and one that caught my attention was Forgetting Sarah Marshall, and what I said ooh to was actually Bodies Cubed, and I like Bodies Cubed more than this. I know that's like a Gen Zer thing of me, right? That may be a younger
No, but I mean, like,
demographic
think
movie.
of how much shit I talked about that movie too. I would probably.
Yeah, I would. It's a lighter watch. It's funnier. It's got some bits too.
They would be very.
It's got Lee Pace.
They would be very 50-50 on what I would say somebody should watch. If somebody was like bodies, or fucking this, I would be like, fuck, dude. I don't know. It's a toss up.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I just putting this below Ghostbusters Afterlife hurts.
and Lightyear is rough.
Yeah.
But Bodies Cubed, man, I like Bodies Cubed more than this.
I do too.
I almost want to amend my ranking, fellas. I'm not gonna lie.
I know. I still feel pretty positive overall on that movie.
I wanna amend to 219. So I want to go below Bodies Cubed and below Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh,
Napoleon Dynamite is a product of its time.
Fuck Bodies Cubed.
Yeah,
Right,
I know Tyler and Nathaniel didn't really care for Bodies Cubed, but yeah, I'm Miniman. Napoleon Dynamite, peak like middle school humor to me, right? And Bodies Cubed, it's got some funny bits.
I went down to 225, Nathaniel.
Okay.
All right, so 207, 219, and 225 will give us the average ranking of 214.5, meaning we will put it below Ma Rainey's and above Lightyear. That still hurts my soul, but whatever.
I mean, I guess that's
I'm
fair.
not willing
Lightyear's
to
ass. For
Lightyear's
sure.
ass, but I'm not willing to die on this hill, so it's whatever.
Yeah, Lightyear's is super ass.
Yeah. All right, 215 for Undertone.
What was
a little bit lower than I thought it was going to be.
Blake, would you have rated the Untitled Dawn from last year above or below this?
Oh, that's a good question. That's a good question. I mean, for everything that it's meant to be as a video game adaptation, right? It's like not half bad.
I think
you can really butcher that.
I think Until Dawn's more fun than this.
Yeah. Right. You can really butcher the video game adaptation. So like it has that going for it, but I think on a technical scale though, this still is so much better than Until Dawn. But yeah, I don't know. It would be close. That would be in that same ballpark for me. You know what I mean? Same ballpark for me, for sure. Because what's below
it? Have it.
Believer, Halloween Kills, Crime 101, Thor: Love and Thunder. That's fair. This is better than all those. I agree. Good ranking.
Cool.
Ugh, well, tension is below this.
That dastardly truck driver.
Yeah, that's the lowest horror movie we have on here.
Well, that's kind of the thing nowadays too. Like if I think that one got so low because Adam bodied it, right?
Oh, for sure. It was within the first like 50 movies we did, and Adam was like, "This is the worst movie I've ever fucking seen."
But like,
I'm also not very high on High Tension.
Okay, but like,
I've been getting ragged on for this movie and my thoughts of it for years now.
That's because
you're just now speaking up.
You were so adamant about no. I mean, I've been adamant about like that movie not being great since it's been put on the entry list. But for some odd reason, I think it's because I was just like,
I wasn't.
Yeah, I don't like it, and you were like, this piece of shit, fuck the movie, motherfucker.
That does sound like Adam. That does sound like Adam.
Most of it, so
yeah.
But now I would say like the problem is nowadays like if that happened again, where like you and I were very positive and Adam was like, no, this is the worst movie I've ever seen, or vice versa. Like if any one of us, because there's so many more movies on the list now, doesn't that like heavily weight it in one direction?
Yeah.
Or am I just like barking up a math tree that doesn't actually make sense here?
No, like you would, and that's exactly why it's ranked that low. There just wasn't enough
Yeah.
to compare it against. So when Adam's like, I don't like it, right? It's just like the next bad movie at that time. I don't know. I'm just pulling something out of my ass, right?
Right.
The next bad movie at that time is fucking, I don't know,
American Pickle. So he's like, it's got to be above that barely, right?
Yeah, it's got to be above that, but it's definitely below Blind Spotting.
Yeah.
And then it just got filled in after that for years upon years upon years.
Well, which again, I think Blind Spotting's another victim of that. Forgetting Sarah Marshall, I think as well too.
We just need more comedies on there.
Yeah. Anyways, D tier.
Sad.
That's valid. I really think C tier is more deserving.
Although
it's okay.
Yeah, from a technical sense, you're probably right. This movie's weird, man. It's scaled weird. I agree, though. From a technical sense, it probably should be C tier.
I know. I mean, if this guy, what does that say? May you live all the days of your life.
It's got to be.
Who said that? Abazu?
Yeah. That was her.
Yeah,
that was her.
Yeah. It is weird because if this movie were just like a little bit better written, I think it
for sure it would be so much better. Yeah.
Maybe we'll make a second one and he won't write that one. We'll see. He is slated. The same director, Ian Tucson, is he's slated to direct a new Paranormal Activity movie. So
there you go.
Yeah.
Sure. What is that? Paranormal Activity was like 8, 9.
I don't know the number. It's untitled right now.
09, I think it was. Oh no, sorry. You were saying, did it come out? You were saying this is the number 9.
What film is this? Yeah. To your point, though, I think the first one's probably 07.
07, 08. Yeah.
One of those well, that's years. It for our review here this week. Our review next week will be for Project Hail Mary. Seems like a lot of people are already getting tickets for. So if you haven't gotten one already, go ahead and do that. And join us for our review of that next week. We're running kind of long on time. If anyone has what we're watching that they're dying to bring up,
Sumo.
I really don't. It's how's Sumo doing?
Sumo's great.
Yeah, cool. My brother left today for his trip to Japan, where he will be attending a sumo tournament. Yeah.
Oh, that's dope.
Is he going to like the one that's currently going, or is it?
I don't know. I can ask him which one he's going to, but he said he's going to go to like an official sumo tournament, and he's also going to a Tokyo Giants baseball game for the MVP. So
that's dope. Tell him to go to Daikoku and take some pictures of some sweet ass cars.
You could do that.
He's not a big car guy.
When he sounds like a little bitch, and now somebody else on the fucking pod has beef with another one of your brothers. Get fucked, and I'll be seeing.
He's the brother who listens to this, so I hope he gets this far in the episode. Actually, I don't think he saw Undertone, and I don't think he will see it. So he probably won't listen to this. So I guess.
No, that's okay. Honestly, he could text me, and him and I will probably be cool. Like your dad and I are. So odds are you
know what, Ty? Why don't I'll leave? I'll add you in my family group chat, and I'll leave myself. And then
honestly, I'd be down. Except I am in like so many fucking group text messages, and my family is gigantic, and I would just prefer not to have more group texts.
It's good.
You know what?
Good thing. Good thing your brother's not a big car guy because he's going to Japan where they have a lot of little cars.
Yeah, he is a little car guy. Yeah, he's. All right. Well, I don't have. I don't have any credit.
I've just been doing a lot of anime, and then Leah and I watched that Fukushima nuclear documentary on Max, which is pretty good. So yeah, if you're looking for a cool doc to watch, go watch that. It's pretty interesting.
I watched Mulholland Drive for the first time.
Oh,
I was not a fan. Have you guys seen that?
nope.
No, I've not.
Okay, it's I think it's David Lynch.
It is.
And it has a high rating on IMDb or on Letterboxd and IMDb and all that, and well regarded as one of the better movies ever made. Like it's on a bunch of top, whatever lists. And I really, none of us really enjoyed it. It's Donnie Darko-esque, where like there's a lot of ambiguous things where you kind of have to look up and explained, but it was like so ambiguous that it was like I have to look up and explain. Whereas like with Donnie Darko, it was like you could follow a lot of the stuff and maybe like make your own theory or put some things together yourself. This one was just like I don't even know what I just watched by the end of it, and I was really waiting for a payoff, and it never came. And I don't know, it was just, and it was really long too, and just wasn't a big fan. I was kind of surprised that it was so well liked. I don't recommend you watch it.
Okay.
Other than that, The Pit. I don't know if you guys have been on that
Pit.
lately. Pit's dope. You're in
I
a
can't watch The
pit. And then DTF St. Louis.
All right, so I've been
I don't know what that is.
borderline on that one. Is that good?
It's HBO Max. It is it's pretty good. I actually like it so far. So does Leah. So I think you should give it a shot. If you're thinking about it, then do it. I think it's pretty good. It's Jason Bateman, David Harborough, and Linda Cardellini are like the main ones. But yeah, have a watch. It's pretty good. And then not that I've watched these, I did not watch them, but I know they came out. There was a Spider-Man trailer that came out. I don't know if any of you guys caught that. And there was also a Doom Part 3 trailer that came out. I don't know if you guys caught that as well.
The Dune 3.
I did. I'm aware of both of them came out. I didn't watch either of them.
I will also not watch either of them.
I saw the Dune 3 promo, right, of all the different characters on there.
The posters.
Yeah, and I didn't know our fucking boys, and I know our Pats is in it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that was surprising me. I was like, is that fucking Robert Pattinson?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes,
and then
part of the
I didn't
Dune
fact
verse.
check it, but it just
playing
seemed like it. Yeah.
the main villain of the third one.
Oh, okay, nice. Yeah, I had no idea.
yeah.
That was a pleasant surprise when I saw the movie poster. I was like, what the fuck, Robert Pattinson?
I think his character will surprise you depending on how they portray it. It's going to be
on
interesting.
screen and it's just somewhere in the way.
Yeah, right. It's Bruce Wayne, but just on Arrakis.
I've been a monster for the last 3 years. I've only been out at night.
Yeah.
And then
I was born in the desert. You immediately adopted it.
That's the question is could Bruce Wayne pull that off? Could Bruce Wayne / Batman pull that off? But then it's all right, well,
Maybe.
how much prep time does he have? Can he conquer Arrakis?
Then the fingers come out of his mouth and the dude from Blue Heron pops, or the boy in the heron comes out.
Yeah. Funny, dude. But yeah, seriously,
so-
it was interesting. I had no idea he was a part of that movie.
Yeah.
Mind-blowing.
I
Did you guys know that?
That trailer. I did.
Don't know if I knew it, but like I support it. Everything about it, you know.
Yeah.
I like that we've got Anya Taylor-Joy in a punk haircut and a septum piercing. Like we're in.
I knew she was a part of it. Yeah, so seeing her on the movie poster, I was like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, man.
Dune verse, bro, dude. I told you it's gonna be big.
Yeah,
It's
did.
on.
You did
it's
legitimately call
on
that shit.
record, and I literally said it after the first one. This is
You
going to
did.
be the
You
next
absolutely did.
generation Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, and it is so far done that
100%.
exact thing.
Except I don't care.
Yeah. I'll kill
We
you.
know you don't.
I don't care.
I'm not gonna lie, man. When I seen the poster, I was like, you know what? I kind of want. I'm itching to get back on Arrakis, man.
Can't
I might
wait
have
to watch it
I
on.
I might set records that opening weekend, dude. I'm gonna be in that theater
I'm gonna
for 3
torrent
days.
it.
I'm
watch
gonna
it on the
rewatch.
phone.
We should
I'm gonna rewatch
do
1 and 2.
IMAX again. all together. That was like
Yeah,
one of like my favorite viewings. Dude.
Yeah,
It was
for
so
sure.
sick.
I absolutely run it back, get Tay back out there.
Yeah,
Run it.
I'm down.
Yeah.
Man, I'm so excited. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting because I am avoiding the trailer, and I will avoid all other trailers for that movie because I just
Agreed.
I'm gonna sit down. I don't need to see any
Don't-
shots
Timothy
from it.
Chalamet gets shot in the head the second,
Yeah.
the second scene of the movie.
But I did hear either one of the cast members or maybe it was just Denny V himself say this is the most like action packed of the 3 movies, which surprised the hell out of me because the book is not that. The book is
It's all
very
Trade Federation negotiations.
I mean, it's not that, but it is. It's the book 2 is very Game of Thrones esque, where it's a lot of dialogue and conspiracy and plotting and all that stuff. And there's like one big action sequence at the end of the book, and like that's it. So hearing it's the most action packed one, you know,
The second one had a decent amount of action though.
a good amount.
Yeah.
And so the fact that the third one will have more makes sense because obviously you're kind of building to the third at being the climax, but like the second book doesn't warrant that. And then I've seen other people talk about how they are, you know, there are cast members for like Paul Atreides and Chani's children, which like that's actually not really a thing until book 3. Children of Dune, like they are born at the end of book 2. So people are thinking like maybe Denny V took elements from book 3 and blended it with book 2, which would be interesting. So yeah, I don't know. I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I hear you, man. Yeah, I'm in for sure. As far as Spider-Man, didn't watch the trailer, saw some of the promos and stuff, and what's been going on.
Yeah.
I honestly don't give a fuck.
Didn't know there was a trailer.
Yeah.
Chris, I did also not watch either of them, but I figured I'd just bring it up.
Yeah. I know a lot of people watch
Throwback
them.
to trailer talk.
Trailer talk.
For sure.
Yeah, glad we don't do that anymore.
Well, I mean, while we're kind of just bouncing around then on kind of the hot topics right in our space. Obviously, the Oscars happened.
I did watch those.
Yeah, and one battle after another, obviously cleaned up. Sinners cleaned up, and like we were like we're some of the. There's people out there who are like, these are the 4 dumbest motherfuckers that ever have a movie podcast. The way we talked about Sinners, because that it did numbers, man. It did numbers.
I don't think did we talk down on Sinners? I like
didn't.
Sinners.
Yeah, I think Blake.
I don't think we talked
Blake
down
was
on
definitely.
it.
I was
like,
yeah, you were lower on it.
I'm secretly trying to push
really
my comments on everybody else. So yeah, it was mainly me.
I was gonna say, the 4 of us. I remember really.
That being said, though, like that thing is ranked like 90 something on our list. We're like, you know what I mean? Like you could make an argument that from a technical sense it should be much higher. But yeah, that did wonders for the horror genre.
Yeah, it's definitely good.
And Oscars, so that's cool to see.
Definitely good. Definitely exciting to see.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think one battle after another maybe should have won. I mean,
are you talking about Best Picture?
Yeah.
What would you have preferred?
If we're gonna go for it, I think
28
we
years.
could have gone for Sinners. But like, I would have done 28 years. Obviously, we discussed this already.
Yeah, we've been over that.
Yeah.
I don't know. One battle after another, I enjoyed a lot, but
honestly, man, I enjoyed both movies. Like I like that's the thing is like it was an easy Oscars for me because I enjoyed so many of the movies that I was just happy when ones that I liked won. You know, like there were very few awards where I was like, that
should have given it to Green Room. A movie that came out in 2016.
Okay. Well, I think it was 2013, but you know.
Don't think so. Because I was in England.
No. Yeah.
Oh, dude, you're trying to you're trying to
I think we're both wrong. I think it's 2015.
15, it could be. It could definitely be
2015 according to IMDb. Either way.
Out master's degree guy, the master's degree guy?
I'm being humble and I'm bragging about it. So give me a second, okay?
What the frig?
All right, now we are going along on time, so I'm going to move us out of here. Of course, thank you all for listening, especially if you made it this far into the episode. You are our favorite type of listener, and we really do truly appreciate it. If you want to do us a favor, go ahead and share the podcast with a friend that likes movies. And I say this every week, but it is a genuine thing. Of word of mouth is the best way to grow the podcast.
Indeed.
So if you've got movie friends that you think might enjoy this podcast, please just give it a recommendation to them. We'd really appreciate that. While you're doing that, you can follow us on Twitter at Banter Row. Our YouTube is just Back Row Banter, and our email is backrowbanterpod@gmail.com if you want to send us an email. You can find me on Letterboxd at Aish, that's AYYSH. Nathaniel, where can people find you at, my man?
Yeah, they can always find me on Instagram. They can find me on Blue Sky at NS Gingrich. They can find me on Letterboxd at NS Gingrich. Blake.
Letterboxd, BlakeHolder, be on there, log some things, rate them out of 5 stars. Ty?
Instagram, Letterboxd, and X, all Tyler Dallas, VIDALES. I believe that's it for us. We appreciate you listening and stopping by. Tune in next week for Hail Mary, and just go out there and love somebody, and we'll BRB.
America. Ready for another lesson.
Boys. Well, I'm very excited,
good?
Ty. This is also getting me wanting to get more tattoos.
Same. Well, a tattoo.
Sure.
I've always said I want to do more ghosts. I think I want to do 13 ghosts.
Why 13?
Movie.
Yeah.
Spooky.
Because if you want to like justify it, I was born on the 13th,
Okay. Yeah, there you go.
All right. Well, there you go. That's all you had to say. I wasn't trying to make you defend your decision of 13. I was just curious why.
I think I want to do them like in a little conga line around on my shoulders.
Nice.
I'll just have each
I'd
one.
be open to a Back Row Banter.
Well, that's the thing. I'm gonna have each one have like a little
banter tattoo.
I want each one to have a little theme. Now that I've kind of got one going here, so like I might do like movies that I really like or something, or just other parts of my personality. So we might have a little podcaster one or something at some point.
No, for sure, man. That's usually how tattoos go, man. Once you have buddies who like are getting new ones, you're like, damn, like I've had some ideas I wanted to put to paper for a minute.
There's definitely
always goes that way.
I feel like my relationship with tattoos is changing. I feel like when I was younger, I was like, I want to have cool tattoos, and now I'm like, no, I want to have tattoos that just like, I don't know, I enjoy or I like about them, kind of thing.
For sure. Yeah,
I don't need them to make me look like some badass kind of thing.
Yeah. I agree. I think that's part of like getting tattoos at a younger age.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean? Yeah, and then like the older you get, then you're just like, no, I just want shit that's just like that I just like.
Yeah,
and I don't want to have to rationalize it to anybody. Like,
bro,
you know
how
many
28-year-olds have like the what is that tweet that's like the rose lion eye clock?
Yeah, for sure.
Just because everyone enjoyed those at the time, kind of thing. Whereas, like, man, get like a beer can smoking a bong or some shit like that.
All the tattoos that Tim the Tatman has.
Yeah,
he literally has all of those. He has,
which
like a lion, a clock, a rose. Like he's like the pinnacle of like some really stereotypical tattoos
in black and gray color photorealism.
Blake, do you have a clock or something? I feel like I remember you having something.
I do. It's on my shoulder. It's the time I was born.
Okay, that's
so
what
you
I
are
thought.
right. Yeah.